We all have ideas, but most of us aren't experts in developing them. We get stuck at what to do next, and day-to-day life takes over. IdeaGist will change this. We have created a platform to help people in bringing their ideas to reality. IdeaGist.com was developed by experienced entrepreneurs for your everyday use. It offers a step-by-step process to help advance your ideas. With every step, it offers tools, learning resources, and examples. IdeaGist provides the largest collection of idea planning tools, hundreds of free resources, and networking tools to help to find investors, mentors, and other team members. On IdeaGist, you control who can see your ideas and who can contribute. IdeaGist was developed with the help of hundreds of volunteers, and helping you is our way of saying thanks to them. Even better, we have made IdeaGist free for those who help others. You got it right. We don't take any equity in your ideas or ask you to buy a subscription after 30 days. No credit card to register. This is why IdeaGist is trusted by more than 300 communities worldwide. The catch is simple. You can either help other people to earn points, or you buy points when you need them. You can pay for all the advanced features using the points you earned. Whether you have an idea right now or you are still waiting for your light bulb moment, join IdeaGist today and start your journey. Thank you for watching, and see you on IdeaGist.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन। उम्मीद है कि आप लोग मुझे देख सकते होंगे और मेरी आवाज़ भी साफ़ आ रही होगी। अगर आप लोगों को आवाज़ साफ़ नहीं आ रही हो किसी वजह से, तो कमेंट बॉक्स के अंदर आप ज़रूर डालिए ताकि मुझे पता चल सके कि मेरी आवाज़ आ रही। आप सब लोग मुझे जानते हैं, हम लोग बहुत सारी ट्रेनिंग्स कर चुके हैं, और हफ्ते में आपको पता है कि सैटरडे और संडे को हम दोपहर 2:30 बजे से 4:30 बजे तक स्टार्टअप पाकिस्तान के जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं हमारे, उनको हम ट्रेनिंग्स प्रोवाइड करते हैं। स्टार्टअप से रिलेटेड मल्टीपल टॉपिक्स हैं जिनको हम कवर करते हैं, और टाइम टू टाइम हमने पहले भी गेस्ट को बुलाया है बाहर से, जिन्होंने अपने आइडियाज़, अपने ख़यालात आप लोगों के साथ शेयर किए हैं। आज की जो हमारी ट्रेनिंग कह लें उसको, या आज की हमारी जो टॉक है, जो कॉन्वर्सेशन है, वो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है इस वजह से कि हमने अपने ब्रदर मुल्क तुर्की से 2 गेस्ट को बुलाया है जो वहाँ के स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम के अंदर काम कर रहे हैं, और उसके साथ हम यहाँ पर हमारे अपने नेटवर्क के अंदर डॉक्टर अज़रा मकसूद को बुलाया है इकोसिस्टम के हवाले से बात करने पे। और अब हम मिल के थोड़ा सा बात करेंगे कि तुर्की में स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम में क्या हो रहा है, वहाँ पे क्या चीज़ें चल रही हैं, पाकिस्तान में क्या हो रहा है, कोविड-19 के हवाले से कैसा मुस्तक़बिल नज़र आ रहा है। क्योंकि आप सब लोग जो इस वक्त अपने कोहोर्ट 1 में या कोहोर्ट 2 में इस वक्त जो काम कर रहे हैं, वो आप सब लोगों के दिमाग में ये ख़यालात होंगे कि आखिर मुस्तक़बिल कैसा है। तो इसमें मैं बिगिनिंग के अंदर जो आप लोगों को बताना चाहता हूँ कि बिल्कुल क्लियरली कि एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप का मुस्तक़बिल बहुत अच्छा है। पोस्ट कोविड-19 एक्चुअली दुनिया की अगर इकॉनमी उठेगी तो वो स्टार्टअप से और स्मॉल बिजनेसेस से उठेगी, और आप लोग जो ये सब ट्रेनिंग हासिल कर रहे हैं, आप ही लोग होंगे जो आगे बढ़ के पाकिस्तान की इकॉनमी को सहारा देंगे। तो आप लोग तैयार रहें। इंशाल्लाह कोविड-19 जो है वो अपनी जगह एक ख़तरनाक चीज़ तो है, लेकिन इससे आगे हमारे पास हमारे इख्तियार में है कि हम किस तरह रिएक्ट करते हैं, और आप लोग जो हैं वो बेसिकली लीडर्स हैं जो इसके अंदर आगे कोविड-19 के अंदर इकॉनमी को रिवाइव करने में, लोगों की लाइवलीहुड को रेस्टोर करने में आप लोग मदद करेंगे। सो विद दैट बैकग्राउंड मैं कोशिश करूँगा कि जहाँ पे अहम कोई टॉपिक हो उसको उर्दू में आपके लिए ट्रांसलेट कर सकूँ, लेकिन हमारे गेस्ट जो हैं वो उर्दू नहीं समझते हैं, अंग्रेज़ी में बात होगी, तो काफ़ी हद तक की हमारी जो बातचीत हो रही होगी वो अंग्रेज़ी में हो रही होगी। तो मैं कोशिश करूँगा कि अहम पॉइंट्स को ट्रांसलेट कर सकूँ, और अज़रा मेरे साथ डॉक्टर अज़रा मकसूद वो भी कोशिश करेंगी कि अंग्रेज़ी से उर्दू में आप लोगों को की पॉइंट्स जो है वो ट्रांसलेट करके दे सकें। वेलकम अज़रा। तो आज तो हम दोनों पाकिस्तानी होस्ट हैं, और फिर हमारे साथ जो है वो तुर्की से 2 गेस्ट मौजूद हैं। मेरे ख्याल में आपकी I cannot see Nishan and Patrick, both of you at the same time. So there may be a little bit of a camera issue. Hello, how are you guys? Good. Can you guys hear me? Please say something so we know that we can hear you. Your microphone is on mute.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes. You're
yeah.
on mute. Yes, sorry
Okay.
for that.
Perfect. Perfect.
Hello.
So,
Very nice to
welcome
be here.
to Startup Pakistan.
Thank you. We are very happy to
Hello.
join you. Thank you for the invitation.
That That's great. So we basically, to you already know the background. Pakistan is running a major government program under the Prime Minister leadership. It's called Startup Pakistan. It started last year as a project that is IdeaGist, my company, brought to the attention of the Prime Minister office, and then later on, Prime Minister team adopted the program, and now it is the government program. Now, as the conceiver of the idea, I am fully committed to basically make it work, and my company is fully committed to make it work. So we are taking a lead role in training million students over the next 4 years in entrepreneurship. So
Yes.
that is our main goal. Yes, a million. And we are already at 26,000, even though we started in February and COVID 19 happened just 4 weeks after our start. However, this is a very ambitious program, and there are lots of students who are currently trying to learn entrepreneurship and startups vocabulary, the ecosystem, understanding how things work. In today's event, I'm hoping that they can actually hear from another ecosystem, from a country that has a lot of cultural similarities with Pakistan and considered to be a friend, a brother country for us. So, and nowadays, Turkey has really a special, what you call time on in Pakistani social circles because of a TV drama that we are
Yeah.
running
Which
over
one?
here. That's a Turkish TV drama. I think it is called Ertuğrul, right? If I'm
Arthur.
not mistaken. Yes. So that's a lot of people watch that drama and then, of course, feeling more connected with Turkey. So let's do a very quick introduction. I would request our, co-host, Dr. Azra Maqsood, to just kind of give you guys a little bit of introduction. My introduction is, you already know me. I am Hassan Sayyed, and I am the founder of IdeaGist, which is the largest digital incubation platform in the world. And we basically are in 195 countries. Our user comes from everywhere. And we take pride in helping people with their early stage ideas. That is the specific area that we focus on. And we connect all these people worldwide. Our current network is around 285,000 people all over the world. So that's me. And now
Very.
to Dr. Azra Maqsood. Azra, please go ahead.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Patrick and Nathan, I don't know if I got your name right. Welcome to this session. Um, one, I'm not a doctor. I work for the healthcare, so everyone assumes I'm a doctor. I am not a doctor. And out of the numbers that you apparently shift you back a little, a million students to be undergoing the entrepreneurship training or hopefully to be getting out as entrepreneurs. It's not a surprising number because this is a population of 30 million anyway. It's a huge country that we have here. So, okay, so what I do currently, I look after operation in Pakistan's public, largest public cardiac facility. I've been here for 5 years. Before that, I've always been very passionate about the development sector. So I opted to stay with education and health. And before that, for almost 15 years, I have been a higher education administrator and I have been involved with the setting up of entrepreneurship centers within a private university that has, of course, scaled to some other cities in Pakistan and to Dubai also. I've also been involved with a World Bank project, which was called the Women X. And for almost 18 to 24 months, we were involved in taking these women who had a startup in terms of their life cycle, not in terms of how long they've been in business, but in the product life cycle stage. And our job was, me and my business partner. So these women came to us from the IPA doing a mini MBA, and our job was to put these women on a one-on-one on a mentoring session with a dedicated mentor, put them through network, and help them take their business to the next level. Then I've been involved with the National Entrepreneurship Working Group, which was like a national body. And the idea was to uh, map down the landscape of the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Pakistan. So for the last 7 or 8 years, I've been directly or indirectly involved with the entrepreneurship landscape in Pakistan. And I still keep mentoring. A hospital is a very full time job, but I still keep in touch with youngsters, and I like to work with women entrepreneurs more specifically. And that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years.
Nice, very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hassan, shall we introduce ourselves now?
You are muted.
Hassan, you have to.
You're muted.
Okay, I do this all the time. Thank you. Please go ahead, Patrick and Nishin. How? Just give us a little background of what you're doing in Turkey.
We have yourselves, please. Is it maybe that's the reason? Azra, could you please mute your microphone?
Sure.
Okay. My name is Neshan Yücel. I'm co-founder of Stageco and Urla Co-working platforms. Urla Co-working is a co-working space, actually. And I am actually I have a long corporate background, so I'm a very typical stereotype at the moment because I'm in my second career. But at the time that I started, that was not really the trend because I was working in a very good bank and I was in credit cards marketing sector, and very busy and very we have a very nice message on the screen now. That's very sweet. And then I decided to create my own path, actually. And 8 years ago, I started my own company. And I started to work on startup projects, my own startup projects, plus a consultancy role, a part-time consultancy role in a digital agency, where I met my husband, Patrick Bostels, who is Belgian, actually. But we met in Istanbul in a meeting, in a business meeting. And things picked up very quickly, and in 3 months Patrick moved to Istanbul. He had a digital agency in Belgium, and he had a very good network and good company, but we had to reboot our lives, both of us, and we were not very young at that time. Now we are. And we started from scratch because I was just less than a year out from corporate life. You know, the cocoon that the corporate life provides you. Your salary is paid at the end of the month. You have social security. You have an office. You have lunch, and I don't know. It's a cocoon as far as I see now. So I was already like a fish out of water and trying to learn how to make business on my own, because at the time there was no mentorship and entrepreneurship as such, like to work with startups or being a solopreneur, let's say, was not very well known at the time in Turkey, there was no ecosystem, no support units. So I just followed my gut feeling and started, and I had to really find the corners and the walls and find my path. So meeting Patrick and starting StageCo actually brought me right into the heart of the startup world. And since then, we are working with startups in Turkey and all around the world, actually. We are mentoring, we're giving trainings, and we also are entrepreneurs ourselves, of course. And we also are involved in NGOs. We are, Patrick is an NGO for Belgian and Turkish businessmen. We founded an association for entrepreneurship and innovation for all, like regardless of age, regardless of any discriminative attributes. This association serves to foster entrepreneurship and innovation, to leave a good footprint on the world. So we are open to collaborate with any like minds all over the world, actually. Next to that, I'm also in the board of a women entrepreneurship association. It's not only for entrepreneurship, it's for 3 causes, actually. It's called Biz Bize. It's like something means like heart to heart, you know, just between us. It's a women's support association for fostering employment, entrepreneurship, and volunteerism for and among women. We are working very, very hard on both of our associations. And in Biz Bize, the Women Entrepreneurship Association, we have been running entrepreneurship programs for 2 years, and actually the COVID period was very busy with the online trainings. I mean, we fell into a gap in the beginning, but then we picked up quickly. But I think we'll get back to that later. I'll leave the mic to Patrick.
Thank you. So as you both understood, first of all, you can see already on the color of my face, I'm very reddish. So I'm also an immigrant in that sense. I came to Turkey and married. So it has to be clear that StageCo, what we started at the beginning, stands for 2 things. Stage is staging. We put the people on the stage, but also it's the staging from idea to exit, which is typically something that you say about startups. Co stands for co-working, collaboration, and co-creation. And I think the secret of a good team today, the secret of a good successful startup is the fact that people can collaborate with each other. I think that's very important. Co-create and collaborate. So we are focusing on that. So Neshin already mentioned the workshops. So for the last 7 years, we have been creating many workshops. We have now more than 15 workshops. Most of them we do ourselves, but we also have guest lecturers who do the workshops. There we learn that, and what was already said before was very nice, that we have to teach young people, and not only young people, but also people from corporate, what is the lingo, what is the jargon of the startup world. We talk about business model canvas, we talk about lean startup, but actually the young people have no idea what we're talking about. So spreading that word is what we did for the last 7 years. And it ended actually with what we just started now in January, just before COVID-19 started. We started with an acceleration program for pre-stage startup teams. So very early, they have an idea, maybe an MVP, and there we see there is a lot of lack of knowledge on the teams itself. Most of the time they're very young. How do you bring this from an idea to a business? This is not as easy as it is. Luckily, my background is 35 years of entrepreneurship. I have been starting bootstrapping, actually, 13 companies. I sold 2 companies. I merged 3 companies. Other companies I stopped. So I'm a foolproof entrepreneur, and I want to share my insights that I had in these more than 30 years now I want to share these insights, especially with young people, because the young people have a lot of pressure on their shoulders. COVID-19 is another pressure on their shoulders because now we are making all the countries make a lot of debt. This debt has to be paid back, and it will be the next generation who will pay this back to protect the older people today. So this is a reality that we have now. So I think it's people like us. I think it's also a little bit our duty, but that's our personal appreciation. It's a bit our duty to help young people now to get ready for that next generation that has to provide the money and the resources to continue what we are doing in society and become a better society as we are today. So the result is that with the acceleration program called now Sprint Accelerator, was going to be actually physically like a normal accelerator program, but thanks to COVID-19, we had to pivot, and it became an online program now. So we have now 11 teams from 9 countries during a 1-month program. And to my surprise, because if I would have done this before COVID-19, not so many people would be really willing to do an online acceleration program. People tend to prefer to get together in the space and work there together. So thanks to COVID-19, it was possible. People accept it now. So we are concentrated on Central Asia, Eastern Europe, Balkan, and Africa. So we don't go to Europe and we don't go to the States. So we keep in the region around here because that's where we think that we can have the most impact. So on the program itself, the way that we select startups, we have like 3 criteria. There is SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. We find them very, very important because for me, this is nothing but common sense because we have to think further away. We cannot just think about tomorrow. We have to think about 10 years and 20 years ahead. So that's why the SDGs are very important. We support refugees. We have been doing a lot of programs for refugees. So we also support refugees a lot. So they are also very important. So refugee founders and women founders. So these are the 3 criteria that we use to select teams. So we have now 11 teams, and in September, we will do the second cohort. It's for free. The teams will give away their demo, their pitch, let's say. They will pitch in front of more than 100 investors in Turkey because it's online. So before, when we do an acceleration program, you can maybe have 15 investors who are sitting there, and that's it. That's where it ends also.
If they can get there by the traffic.
If they can, especially in Istanbul.
Yeah.
So now suddenly there's an acceptation that thanks to COVID-19, we can do these things online. So now I can actually distribute the pitch of 11 teams to more than 100 investors, which is quite impressive for me. I mean, before COVID-19, I would not even think about this. So this is what we are trying to find out. How can we do this good? Secondly, and in that sense, we have the same mindset as Hassan. How can we multiply what we are doing? Because I can only reach 11 teams now. How can we reach more teams? How can we have more impact? Helping these young people getting ready for their next stage in their life, which is or self-supporting by being an entrepreneur, or working in a company, or even working in a company with an entrepreneurial mindset, which now all the corporates are talking about, because they're all like, wow, we have to have entrepreneurship. But if you are already working for 30 years in a company, I don't see that change, to be honest with you. We have been doing entrepreneurship programs, but these people are so secure. They have a house, they have their kids, they have very fancy schools. So for them, becoming an entrepreneur is a threat in their lifestyle. So I don't count on them. I count on the young people.
That's true.
And now it's starting.
That's true. Very good, Patrick and Nishan. You have touched some very important points. What I would suggest for our audience over here, sometime I will speak in Urdu, which is the national language here. And you guys are more than welcome to sometime share with Turkish audience, that may be joining us, anything if you feel important to be translated in Turkish, so that would be cool. I'm gonna just very quickly touch few topics in Urdu, and then I'll come back to our conversations. तो जैसा आप लोग अभी हमें सुन रहे हैं और आपने पैट्रिक और निशन की बातें सुनी, अंग्रेज़ी में थी, शायद कुछ चीज़ों में चैलेंज आया आपको, तो जो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ जो पैट्रिक ने बयान की मेरे ख़्याल में वो एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के हवाले से, जैसा मैंने शुरू में कहा कि कोविड-19 ने हमारी थिंकिंग को चेंज किया है और हमारे लिए एक अपॉर्चुनिटी भी क्रिएट की है, और हमने उस अपॉर्चुनिटी को सीज़ करना है। दूसरी चीज़ जो मैं समझता हूँ कि इम्पोर्टेंट पैट्रिक ने बात की है बूट स्ट्रैपिंग की, कि बूट स्ट्रैपिंग जो है, यानी आपने स्टार्टअप अपने बलबूते के ऊपर स्टार्ट करना है अपना बिज़नेस, और कस्टमर्स को जल्द से जल्द लेकर आना है ताकि आपको इन्वेस्टर्स के पीछे ना जाना पड़े, मैक्सिमम एटलीस्ट इन द बिगिनिंग। तीसरी चीज़ ये कि ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म की वजह से अब आप ज़्यादा इन्वेस्टर्स तक रीच आउट कर सकते हैं, आप ज़्यादा लोगों को सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं और ज़्यादा जगहों के ऊपर काम कर सकते हैं। तो आइडियाजिस्ट तो जाहिर सी बात है कि एज अ प्लेटफॉर्म वी टेक प्राइड, हमें बहुत क्या कहते हैं अपना इसके ऊपर जो है वो खुशी है कि हम ये काम कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि हमने एक डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म 7 साल लगा के बनाया जो आज हमारे मुल्क के काम आ रहा है। इसके अलावा एक और पॉइंट जो पैट्रिक और निशिन ने टच किया, जो मेरे ख़्याल में हम लोगों को जो है वो सोचना चाहिए, वो है कि आप लोग अपने करियर की इब्तिदा कर रहे हैं, यू आर स्टार्टिंग अप द करियर, और एक आइडिया से लेकर और स्टार्टअप तक ले जाना एक बहुत मुश्किल काम है। लेकिन वो मुश्किल काम वो लोग जिनके पेट भरे हुए होते हैं उनके लिए और ज़्यादा मुश्किल होता है। पेट भरे हुए होने से मतलब ये कि एक कंफर्ट लेवल के अंदर इंसान बैठा हुआ है, कहीं पे काम कर रहा है, जॉब के ऊपर है, अपनी मुलाजमत कर रहा है, वहाँ से उसको एक सैलरी आ रही है हर महीने, और उसको फिर वो सैलरी छोड़कर, वो जॉब छोड़कर एक रिस्क लेना उसके लिए बहुत मुश्किल होता है। आप लोगों के पास इस वक्त ये अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि वो आपके पास कंफर्ट जोन है ही नहीं, यू आर रेडी टू डू दीज थिंग्स। सो आई थिंक दिस इज़ रियली इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट जो आप लोगों को सोचना है कि आपके पास इस वक्त जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है, चाहे आपको वो मुश्किल लग रही हो, इट्स अ वेरी गुड अपॉर्चुनिटी। नाउ लेट्स गो बैक टू आवर गेस्ट्स एंड अजरफ, आई विल इन्वाइट यू to to start the conversation, what you're thinking. You heard Patrick and Nishan and their introduction. Go ahead, your microphone is on mute.
Yeah, I'm just trying to unmute that. Thank you, Patrick and Nishan. Whatever you said over here, I have an echo. Hassan? Is that better now? Is that better now? But I can't hear myself. So okay, great. So whatever you guys have talked about. In Pakistan, we've been doing that, and I will switch to a little Urdu once I speak to you, so that the audience also knows what I'm talking about. Whatever you guys have talked about, that's amazing, and obviously I enjoy listening to ideas in which, as Pakistanis, we also get an opportunity to evaluate from a scaling point of view. Your idea about just having 11 teams or having limited number of VCs or angel investors who would like to come and listen to these teams and then sort of invest in their products. I think that's brilliant. And the way you've scaled it up, thanks to COVID, that's gone up to, obviously in Pakistan also, we've got some very organic organizations and very organic initiatives with a lot of communities who've gone into capturing the online opportunities and then extending them or spreading them. Uh, what we have in Pakistan right now, and Hassan, I'm sure understands that more than I do, because Nishan, like you did in a cocoon, I'm still in a cocoon. I work in I have a paycheck, so there is a cocoon, of course. But what I did was out of that 3 days working from home and 3 days working out of office. So I got out of my comfort zone. I shook the board, I rocked the board, and I spent at least 2 to 3 hours a week doing things which I can help communities online. So now coming back to what you people who have been talking about and what Hassan I'm sure will endorse, we've got some great small pockets and we've got people working in silos uh, who are doing a lot towards the entrepreneurship ecosystem contribution in Pakistan. Unfortunately, a lot of these organizations or a lot of these people do not actually, they still think in terms of competition, they do not think in terms of co-optation or collaboration. I think this is one of the biggest killers that we actually face. That I, someone who has no stake in this entire pie, apart from the fact that I want to give back to community, I have no financial interest or getting a percentage or making money out of this thing. I don't want to, not right now. I get a great paycheck. So there are people who just like to work in isolation, and there are organizations who like to work in silos, and because of that, unfortunately, we've not been able to scale up. uh, I'm sure Hassan is going to be talking a little more about that with his experience of coming back to Pakistan and being involved with Empower Pakistan, which I sort of landed myself into that landscape of Empower Pakistan. But all the discussions that I've been having with Hassan and his team, I still feel we are a lot behind. We are not as aggressive in pursuing these things or pursuing these targets of reaching out to 1 million or converting 1 million entrepreneurs or 1 million students potentially into entrepreneurs. It's going to take an uphill battle because people have other priorities. These are mentors, and obviously we are trying to get people, rope people in through a volunteer network. Right now, obviously, we're not thinking in terms of a big honorarium for these people. These are people who genuinely want to give back to the community. Pakistanis are great at giving back. Unfortunately, we are great at giving back zakats and charities. We're not great at giving back time. And these youngsters, my experience, I led Junior Achievement Pakistan for almost 3.5 years. So my experience is, if your cause is right, the corporates and all will come and volunteer money, but getting them to volunteer their workforce to be mentoring these young kids or these youngsters in Pakistan, JA worked with children between the ages of 12 and 24. We did not work with very small children. So, and we called it Injaz Pakistan, as in Injazul Arab. So, my experience is we need to be talking to you guys, and we need to be getting some, at least for on my at my level. Hassan may think differently. I would like to understand and hear of your experiences of getting these volunteer mentors, their motivation, and how they get these kids to be helping to take their business to the next level, or even pushing them to get into a startup. Pakistan is very enterprising. We've got some very, very intelligent people. But elite cities like Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, we are very corporatized. Karachi is the hub of all activities, obviously, economic activities. And all the business schools are not encouraging entrepreneurship. They're still encouraging a BBA, MBA degree, and they're bringing out corporate managers, corporate leaders. Very few schools are actually in thinking in terms of entrepreneurship. So here is my sadness, or me being upset about the entire ecosystem, that we being so enterprising as a nation, we being so giving in charities and zakats and all, are not able to give on our time for mentoring, for volunteering, and leading these kids or identifying a career path for them. Yes, we need people who want to be in the corporate, and we need people who should be there. But more than that, there is no industrialization happening in Pakistan. In fact, our biggest steel mill is going to be shutting down, unfortunately. So, with all of these things which are happening today in the last 24 hours, we've got all the more reason to start pushing people into the direction of entrepreneurship. Hassan.
Thank you, Azra. Absolutely. So I think that you, in your uh, opening remarks, I think three important things I feel and I would ask Patrick and Nishin to share with us their experience in Turkey. One is how to engage good mentors, people, how to encourage people to give time than money. I think that's one. And how are you seeing in Turkey? Are there enough mentors in the ecosystem? And things are moving well. The second part that what I understood from what Azra was talking about is the silos mentality, where everybody is working like, this is my incubator, this is my accelerator, this is my space, or whatever, and cooperation or collaboration is not very strong. So I think that's the second problem area that Azra has identified. And the third, I think she has identified, which is more specific to our project, which I will touch a little later, which is about how we get to that 1 million, and it requires a lot of uphill battle, right? So yeah, so that's a huge thing. So we take that later, but let's hear from Patrick and Nishin on how you see the silos in Turkey. If they are not there, how are they broken? And then what are you seeing in terms of the mentors activity? And if it is good, then what are the factors?
Okay. Could you mute? Yeah. I can briefly start about the volunteerism culture in Turkey, which doesn't exist. So that's not I'm not talking about mentorship specifically, because we have been running a volunteer organization for teaching kids how to code in the last 6 years, actually. And volunteerism has been a big topic on our minds because we volunteered to do that. We, maybe you have heard about Coder Dojo. It's an international organization of volunteers to teach children how to code, free of charge, of course. And it's actually a very organic organization. It's not very structured, but very nice global club of volunteers. In Turkey, we have opened many dojos. Dojos as the space and resources. A cafe can be a dojo, a library can be a dojo, a co-working space can be a dojo. And once per week, 2 hours, mentors who can code or who can manage the kids. You don't even have to be able to code. They come together with the kids. It's like a coding club, and we let the children ask us questions, and we teach them how to find out the answers. You don't even have to know the answer. You you work with them to find the right answer, or lead them to talk with their peers and collaborate. So volunteerism has been a big issue on my mind because in Turkey we don't have this sense of giving back to community, as opposed to like in every Western village, people volunteer to do something good for their village or for their town, for their city. But in our culture, we pay money, because of our religion, probably. The volunteerism is more by paying the poor to get something. So I agree with Azra in that sense. People are less willing to put their time and effort in this, but there are also reasons to that, other reasons to that. Firstly, it's not in our culture. Put that aside, people don't feel confident enough that they can teach somebody else something. It is. I have been mentoring university students and startups, and whoever I talk with, to like my friends, I want to convince them to be mentors because they are very valuable in the professional world, and I invite them to share their experience and information, they are like, yeah, but I cannot do that. I'm not capable of that. So I have to really talk with them, massage them, and really spend a lot of time to convince them that they can. Once they are in, they start to enjoy it. But there's always a barrier. But in Turkey, the startup ecosystem has been, has been very trendy in the last couple of years. So corporate people are also questioning their existence and working in, big plazas and being stuck in a big building all day. So it's not really cool, and they are looking for a way out of the system. And mentorship is actually a way of bringing them together with the startup ecosystem and with the young people. As for me, I always say, whatever I learn from young people, not from people who are older than me, except for my husband and mentor. He's my mentor. But I usually, we are living in times that we can only learn new things from young people. We put the experience aside, of course. Experience you can only gain by time and going through it. But if you are especially in an innovation and tech world, you have to be very close to mentors, to youngsters. So being a startup mentor in Turkey is finding startup mentors in Turkey is not as hard as it was 2 years ago. We have to acknowledge that, because it is really the trend and it's the cool thing, in our country. I'm sure in Pakistan things will evolve in a way that more opinion leaders will lead the way and show that they are mentoring young people, young teams, startups, and they are, they are honoring actually their own experience in a very good way. I think it's very rewarding to be part of a startup that is globally successful or nationally successful. So if opinion leaders in Pakistan are more out loud about that, if you can get some people who can be ambassadors for this, I'm sure it will grow very, very quickly, because Turkey and Pakistan cultures are not so different from each other, and we have the similar drawbacks. But spending time with a startup and mentoring them is not a loss of time. You learn a lot. You really learn a lot, and it's very rewarding.
Absolutely. Mentoring is rewarding. It's two-way learning, understanding, that concept. After mentoring yourself, then you realize, when you talk to the young kids, when you start mentoring them, then you realize what you are learning from them. Absolutely.
Okay, I start again, I think. We give mentorship trainings, and we work with a lot of people who are starting to mentor, let's say. And I always say maybe 60% of mentorship is learning, but we don't say this as mentors. No, it's a wonderful two-way learning system, and the output is really, really big. Of course, you have to define what is mentorship in a very good way. If you are like a teacher, or always imposing your own ideas and not listening to the other one, meaning the mentee, you don't get to learn anything. You just continue hearing yourself. And most probably your mentee is going to dump you very soon after that. Because half of mentor.
That's true. And here is Saeed Rabbani saying that I am a student from KJSP program and also part of a startup Istanbul. So there are some people, Pakistani people who are participating over there. Patrick, share with us, the silo mentality, how you're seeing. Actually, you are bringing experience from, multiple countries. So how do you see that, and how, in your experience, 30 years, as you said, of entrepreneurship, how these silos are broken?
The key word is trust here. So I think so I learned something very useful or not useful, but what I see is that, for example, when I had businesses in Belgium, in Paris and in London, whenever a customer asked me to do something, I made an offer, and even though I did not know the customer, I could still win the offer. And we didn't know each other. We got to know each other later on when we were working together, because they say, you made the best offer in terms of what you offer to us as a work and in terms of pricing. So when I came to Turkey, that whole idea was lost. In the region here, and I think this is and I can probably also speak here for Pakistan, it's about who do you know. So this is a completely different mindset. And that's why you have silos. The silos are not only organizations who don't work together with each other. And that I think that the deeper reason that organizations are not working together is there is always a little bit of envy, and there is always the kind of fear that the other one will be better or will take over. So there is always mistrust from the beginning. So in Turkey, I learned that everything starts with not trusting each other. And bit by bit, in collaborating with each other, you might start to trust each other. And once the trust is there, you become Abe, you become the brother, your family. And from there, you can do whatever you want. Everything is good because you have created a trust bridge. So that's also nice, but it also means that people are not really keen to reach out to each other if they don't know each other. This creates many silos. It creates silos in society. It creates silos in professional life. It creates specifically silos also in the startup life, because in the startup life, everybody is a little bit scared. So people come to me and they say, Patrick, I have a great idea. So we know a lot of investors, of course. So they think like, if I talk to Patrick and he knows me, he will bring me to an investor. But I never do that, because for me, it's not who you are. It is what are you going to do? What is your idea? How far are you in this idea? I can like you as a person and still tell you this is really a shitty idea. So, but this is something that we normally don't do in our culture, because we are always nice to each other. So we prefer to say, "Oh, great idea, immensely," and I will see what I can do. And in the end, nothing happens. So this is a different mindset for me. Because for me, that's where that. So there is a cultural, and I mean, this goes far back, of course. So this change, so we have globalization today. So in this globalization, we have now this kind of inner fight in a way, and that's not an inner fight in a bad way, but there is this. There's on the one side, there is the be open-minded and try to collaborate with everybody, and at the same time, we have the reflex to go back to our village and say, I prefer to work with my neighbor because I know my neighbor from my 12 years old. So we are in this tension now between global, where you can work with everybody from any culture, from any background. And there is the reflex, and especially in our region, where we try to go back to, I prefer to work with my brother or my sister or my nephew. So, and not thinking about what is good or bad in terms of profession. So it's more like, who can I trust? So I think that's where I don't know. For me, I can say I would prefer more like, let's trust each other. That would be my thing. But I also saw here in Turkey that sometimes I trust a person who comes to work in my house and I give him money and then he goes away with the money. So, so you're always in this play field of minds where it can be good or bad. So that is something that I try to find out. What is there a good way? And we have to evolve. That's for me a certainty.
think that you have touched a very important point about trust and breaking the silos. Is important to establish the relationship that is based on trust, and often competitiveness overcomes the feeling of trusting somebody and say maybe we can work together, and that is a challenge. What I found, Patrick, that in many ecosystems worldwide, there are people who have become a symbol of trust. They have spent their lives in actually connecting people, and they have spent their lives in connecting people without any kind of reward or taking anything back. So they are the givers. They are the ones who basically go in the ecosystem and say, sit with this entrepreneur, sit with another entrepreneur, and say, maybe you guys should talk. And because they have this, reputation that they have built, then people listen to them, and they become the like a bee that takes the pollen from one tree to another and pollinate, throughout the orchard. So they become the bees that are basically pollinating the ideas and connecting people with each other. And unfortunately, in Pakistan ecosystem, there are hardly any super connectors who basically are in here for just a what you call a giving mode, where I am here to give. I'm here to just help people. But hopefully that will change over time. Nishan touched the idea of mentors training, and so I'm going to go back to Azra, and I'm going to talk about maybe in Urdu, so that maybe a little bit of difficulty for you guys. You can, sometimes we use English words mixed with Urdu, so you can guess maybe what we are talking, right? But I want to talk about how to build trust, and to basically go out of this silo mentality and then see how we can move forward. So Azra, let's bring you in. एंड आई थिंक दैट मेरे ख्याल में हमारा जो चैलेंज है ट्रस्ट का, उसके ऊपर जो पैट्रिक बात कर रहे थे इस हवाले से कि सम टाइम आप किसी के ऊपर ट्रस्ट करते हैं और वो आपको धोखा देता है। और उन्होंने अपनी मिसाल दी कि जैसे घर पे आपने किसी काम करने वाले को बुलाया, उसको पैसे दिए और वो भाग गया पैसे लेके। ये कॉमन हमारा एक्सपीरियंस है मेरे ख्याल में तमाम सोसाइटीज़ में, जहाँ पर human population is bigger and lots of people are there. उसमें competitiveness ज़्यादा है और उसके अंदर फिर आपको ऐसी चीज़ें भी मिलती हैं। तो मेरा जो फंडामेंटल क्वेश्चन है वो ये है कि इन एक्सपीरियंस के बावजूद, अज़रा आपसे, आप अगर सुन रही हैं, इन एक्सपीरियंसेस के बावजूद हाउ आर यू इन द गिविंग मोड? आप दे रही हैं, राइट? आपने भी एक्सपीरियंसेस उठाए होंगे जिसके अंदर लोगों ने आपको धोखा दिया होगा, ट्रस्ट आपका जो है शैटर हुआ होगा, लेकिन फिर हाउ डिड यू गो बैक टू से ओके मैंने ये एक्सपीरियंस किया, ठीक है वो उस आदमी की बुराई थी, लेकिन इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि मैं सबके ऊपर ट्रस्ट करना छोड़ दूं या मैं अपना काम करना छोड़ दूं। क्या कहती हैं आप?
Okay, so if personally, though, of course, there have been innumerable episodes in life of facing these issues of mistrust by people. Some people by nature are very trusting. I'm a pathetic judge of people, so I will trust everybody. और
अच्छा अगर उर्दू में बोलें अगर आप तो थोड़ा सा
I will do that, ठीक है। तो एक तो पर्सनालिटीज का भी इशू होता है ना। मेरी पर्सनालिटी ऐसी है जैसे कि मैं हर एक को ट्रस्ट बहुत जल्दी कर देती हूँ। आई एम ए टेरेबल जज ऑफ पीपल। तो मैं हर एक को बहुत जल्दी ट्रस्ट कर लेती हूँ। पर्सनली उसकी वजह से बहुत नुकसान भी उठाने पड़े हैं। सो पैट्रिक एंड निशान, पर्सनली आई हैव हैड अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रबल विद दिस एस्पेक्ट ऑफ माय पर्सनालिटी। लेकिन अगर मैं कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में देखती हूँ या अगर मैं टिपिकली एक एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप वाले लैंडस्केप में या एक मेंटरिंग के लैंडस्केप में देखती हूँ या मैं एक गिविंग बैक टू द कम्युनिटी के लैंडस्केप में देखती हूँ, तो एक पर्सन की अपनी जो इनसिक्योरिटीज होती हैं, दोज इनसिक्योरिटीज वो एक्चुअली आपकी पर्सनालिटी में ट्रस्टिंग या नॉन ट्रस्टिंग नेचर को ज्यादा नर्चर करती हैं. सो अगर तो किसी की इनसिक्योरिटी, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ. जब मैं एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप लैंडस्केप में बहुत ज्यादा एक्टिव थी बिकॉज ऑफ JA या बिकॉज ऑफ वर्ल्ड बैंक, तो ये छोटी छोटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस जो थी ये इमीडिएटली बहुत ही इनसिक्योर फील करना शुरू कर देती थी, क्योंकि कंपटीशन था बहुत ज्यादा डोनर्स को अट्रैक्ट करने का. तो उसकी वजह से उनको इमीडिएटली एक एक वो एलिमेंट होता था, ओ माय गॉड, वी कैन नॉट वर्क विद JA और अजरा और वुमेन एक्स because these guys are competing for the same pool of money that we are also competing for. Once you put them in a comfort zone, for example, Junior Achievement ran purely on donations. It ran purely as a social impact organization. We didn't like to call ourselves an NGO. We called ourselves a social impact organization, and we run purely on donors. So we were not pitching for USAID, or we were not pitching for the Acumen Foundation funds, or we were not pitching for I2I. So जब आप इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए अगेंस्ट इन्हीं के लिमिटेड कंपेटिटर्स में आप उस छोटी सी पाई में compete नहीं करते हो, तो naturally आप उनके दोस्त बन जाते हो. You become friends naturally when they know professionally that you're not competing for the same pie as they are. So that is my take on building trust with them. जहां तक दूसरा building trust वाली बात है, अगर if you genuinely believe in your cause, your attitude, your behavior, अगर आप अपने cause में genuinely believe करते हैं, तो आपका behavior, it shows on your face, by the way. I'm a firm believer of that. If I believe in a cause, if I'm passionate about a cause, that passion will show on my face, it will show in my attitude, it will show in my behavior. वो sincerity reflect करेगी, that sincerity is going to be a reflection of my personality and my dedication to that cause. And once you are able, अगर आप उसको express कर सकते हैं उसी ingenuity, उसी sincerity के साथ, I think वो जो professional trust का element होता है वो intact रहता है. वो कुछ लोग by nature ऐसे होते हैं जो लोगों को trust नहीं करते हैं. तो हम इकोनॉमिक्स में पढ़ते थे पैरेटो प्रिंसिपल, 80-20 वाला प्रिंसिपल जो होता था कि 20% ऑफ द पीपल आर गोइंग टू बी द वंस जो कि 80% ट्रस्ट नहीं करेंगे, which is fine. I have nothing to do with those 20% people, but that should not stop me. बाकी वो लोग जिनके साथ ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम मैंने एक ट्रस्ट की रिलेशनशिप बिल्डअप कर ली है, उन्हीं के नेटवर्क में, उन्हीं के फ्रेंड सर्कल में, उन्हीं के कॉर्पोरेट एसोसिएट्स के साथ मैं लाजमी कैस्केड करना, ये मेरी अपनी पीपल स्किल्स हैं कि मैं उनको किस बेहतर तरीके से कैस्केड कर सकती हूँ. हसन.
वेरी कूल अज़रा, थैंक यू वेरी मच. ट्रस्ट जाहिर सी बात है इज़ द फाउंडेशन ऑफ एनी बिजनेस, इज़ द फाउंडेशन ऑफ एनी रिलेशनशिप. So there is a lot, written on trust, and people can look into that topic separately. But I think that whenever we are talking about a collaborative environment, trust is the foundation of that collaboration, and how it is built step by step over time. It takes time. There is no shortcut to trust. There is no such thing that suddenly, yes, of course, when you meet someone, as you said, Azra, there is a level of sincerity in somebody, then you can sense it. You understand that this person is being sincere, genuine, honest, or you hear from other people about their reputation in the market or in the ecosystem. But I think that the most important message that I want to give to the students in this particular area is that don't give up your positivity because of few bad experiences. थोड़े बहुत आपको जो बुरे एक्सपीरियंस होते हैं लोगों के, जिसमें लोग आपको धोखा देते हैं, आपके साथ आपका कोई नुकसान करते हैं, आपके ट्रस्ट को शैटर करते हैं, उनकी वजह से आप उन लोगों को ट्रस्ट करना ना छोड़ें जो सिंसियरली आपकी मदद करना चाह रहे हैं, आपके साथ काम करना चाह रहे हैं. क्योंकि अगर आप जो सिंसियरली आपके साथ काम करना चाह रहे हैं उनके ऊपर आप ट्रस्ट नहीं करेंगे तो आप दो चीज़ें लूज़ कर रहे हैं. एक तो आप उनको लूज़ कर रहे हैं एज अ पर्सन, एंड देन यू आर ऑल्सो लूजिंग द अपॉर्चुनिटी. यू आर लूजिंग टू थिंग्स, एंड देन you are also doing one more thing, and that is making the other guy who actually shattered your trust, making that guy more successful. So beat that guy. उसको आपको क्या कहते हैं अपना डिफीट करना है, उस ख़राब आदमी को जिसने आपका ट्रस्ट शैटर किया, by doing the right thing. By keep mistrusting other people, you are making that other person win. So I think that's a very important lesson for you guys today. Now let's take some questions and answers. Shahab is waiting. There are a lot of kids who have, and he has been posting comments, and I can see Patrick and Nishan may be watching some of the comments interestingly, but we will start into some Q&A. Let me open your microphone and I'll mute myself. Nishan, if you want to say something, and then we go into Q&A.
I wanted to add. So when Patrick decided to move to Turkey and we decided to merge our lives, I talked to my therapist because I panicked. I said, this man is leaving everything behind to come and live here with me, and we are just going to restart our lives. And he's fully depending on me. He's trusting me so much that it scares me, what if I fail? And I was almost like 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out of the door, He was ready, he packed and he was coming, but I was like, he cannot even go to a hairdresser without me. And what if it doesn't work, What are we going to do? And my therapist told me, you know what, Neshan? Okay, he's trusting you, but he's trusting himself more than anything. He's not relying on you. He knows that he can make it here or anywhere in the world, I think. And that was an eye-opener for me, and it gave me great relief, of course. I think that's how an entrepreneur should be. Because Patrick is a perfect example of an entrepreneur. He has vast experience, but he also has the heart of it. He's the most bravest man I have ever seen in my life in many ways. And later I understood, you have to trust yourself. You cannot put your future and your business in the hands of the others. You have to know that you are going to make it in any way with this partner or another partner, but you have a big heart and you are brave and you are hardworking. With trust here is also a little bit mixed with sharing the workload, I think. But you have to be, as an entrepreneur, you have to be ready to do everything yourself. Okay, if you find a good partner, that's fine. It will take your workload and you can grow your business more quickly. But there are also the worst scenarios, and you have to be prepared for that. So, of course, trust is very important, but it's not easy to find. And you have to be ready to roll your sleeves and do everything yourself and still go for it.
And I would like to add something to this trust issue. So trust is one thing, but there is a second thing that is very important in our region, where we kind of also have a cultural mixed feelings with, is failure. So from trust, what Neshan said is very, very correct. So trust is something that you have to give, and it can work out or it cannot work out. It can go in two directions. So for example, and maybe Hassan, you also know this, if you are bankrupt in the States, you start again, it's easier to get a loan because the bank is saying, this person learned from his previous mistakes and will now do a good thing. So in Europe, it's not like that. In Europe, if you go bankrupt and you go to the bank, forget it. No loans in the next 10 years. Or you have to give your house and your kids as guarantee, as warranty, and then you can have it. So the same thing here. So in our culture, even in our culture, we cannot fail. The worst thing we can do is fail, because then we can have to go back to our friends and family and say, I trusted this person, it didn't work out. And then they say, it's your fault because you should not have trusted that person. No, failure is part of your learning. And I think that is also what Hassan is probably doing in his platform, is saying that so experience comes from failure. I have a lot of experience, but I can assure you, I can write a book of all the things that went wrong in my life. Easily. But on the other hand, I'm also a very positive guy. So if something doesn't work, I learn from it and I go to the next thing. I don't care. For me, I am smarter after that failure. So this is something in our culture, also in our education. So even in corporate, I mean, Arza was saying that she had her paycheck every month. So for example, in corporate, when HR is talking to you every year to assess you, like, are you good? KPIs, did you do your KPIs? And then, oh yeah, you did my KPIs, bonus, everybody happy. But then you come to the HR manager and you said, I failed this KPI. You will not get the bonus. So already in the corporate culture, you are punished for failure. So which means that we don't take risk. We don't trust anything. We don't take anything that is out of the safety space, because otherwise you will be punished. So we have to so also lean startup and what Steve Blank was saying is always like, try it out, measure, pivot, and do the next thing. So I think that is something that we have to work on, is that we put failure as part of getting experience. I think that is a very important one.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. A lot of people are asking questions. We'll get into the questions, and then this failure part, which is a major, fear. It touches upon the other factor about risk or about trust. So the trust is one, whether you trust the other person, and the other one is whether you trust yourself. And as Nishan said, that when she went to the therapist, she was told that Patrick is not coming here because he trusts you, but rather he trusts himself. Now that basically belongs to the area of insecurities. So having the belief that you will survive, what's the worst that could happen, and then that you can trust yourself to be able to come out of it and still continue your life. So I will translate it in Urdu and then we start the question and answer. तो मेरे ख्याल में जो पार्ट अज़रा और पैट्रिक और निशिन की कॉन्वर्सेशन से मेरी समझ में आ रहा है, जो मैं आप लोगों के साथ शेयर कर रहा हूँ, कि ट्रस्ट का एक साइड है कि आप दूसरों के बारे में क्या ख्याल रखते हैं, और उसका दूसरा साइड है आप अपने बारे में क्या ख्याल रखते हैं. व्हाट डू यू थिंक ऑफ योरसेल्फ. ठीक है, तो आपने अपनी सलाहियतों के ऊपर भी कॉन्फिडेंट होना है कि अगर स्टार्टअप फेल हो गई तो क्या हुआ, एक ट्राई की हमने, उससे कुछ लर्न किया, फेल हो गए, इट्स ओके, व्हाट्स अ बिग डील, यू लर्नड अ लॉट. अगर आप लर्निंग को अपना ऑब्जेक्टिव बना लेंगे तो कोई फेलियर तो है ही नहीं, बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ इट यू वुड हैव लर्न समथिंग एंड देन आप मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट थिंग एंड देन यू विल डू इट बेटर. अगली चीज़ आप बेहतर तौर पे करेंगे. तो चलें अब हम क्वेश्चन एंड आंसर की तरफ चलते हैं. लेट्स गो इनटू Q&A. शहाब, प्लीज़ पोस्ट क्वेश्चंस. ओके, वर्दी, पैट्रिक, yeah.
Before you take the question answers, just one comment. While we were in our professional studies, when I was pursuing my MBA, and this is a write-up that I also put into a magazine around 3 months back. एक चीज हमें बहुत अच्छी सिखाई गई थी, और ये शायद इन बच्चों को भी बहुत हेल्प करे. And for Patrick and Nishan sake, and we're just going to say it in English also. Our mantra was fail fast, fail forward. Just move on. Put that failure at your back. Learn from that failure, and once you have failed, you cannot. मतलब आप रो नहीं सकते हैं उसको लेके, जिंदगी भर आप उस दुख को लेके बैठ नहीं सकते. यस, कुछ ऐसे फेलियर्स होते हैं जिनका इम्पैक्ट आपके ऊपर कुछ बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता है. दे हर्ट यू लाइक क्रेजी, you're heartbroken, you're devastated, you don't want to live anymore, right? But I think ये good coaches, good mentors It's also the job of your peers, your friends, and good coaches and all to constantly nudge you to say, you failed, done, just move forward. So if you're failing, fail fast, fail forward.
Very good. Okay, so the first question was about risk management from Patrick and Nishin. From an entrepreneurial perspective, how do you manage the risk of failure? I mean, in your mind, it's just a mind game, right? Isn't it? It's all in your head. How do you play?
There is no risk management. There is no, because risk management means, so to manage something, they have to measure it first. So it would mean that I would be able to measure the risk that I'm taking. But if you are starting a business, when I bootstrapped my first company was a failure. Did I think about failure? No, I thought about success. So when you start a company, you think about this is going to work. You never think about this is not going to work. So at that moment, you don't think about risk. The second thing, what Hassan said, is very important. It's also a mindset. It's who you are. It's how you were brought up as a kid. It is your culture, even where you're from, which country. All these things play a role in: are you willing to take a risk, or are you not willing to take a risk? And an entrepreneur is a person who doesn't see risk. That is the beauty of entrepreneurship. If you see risk, you become an employee, which is just as good. For me, there is no difference. There's no like entrepreneurship is better than employee. No, we need everything in this world. So there is no good or bad here. But what I see in the many things that I did, but also in the many companies that we have now been guiding as mentors or in our workshops, is that the people who really believe in something, and that comes from the heart and the conviction, they don't think about the risk. They just do it. And then you will see that if it doesn't work, you will always come up with solutions anyway. So there is no risk management. Risk management is something from corporate. In corporate, they say, if we do this, what is the market size we can lose? What is the market size we can win, for example? So these people have a history and they can assess risk. If you're an entrepreneur and you start a company, the only risk is that it's not going to work.
But for investments, of course, like the time and money you are going to put in a project is you are risking that. We cannot say that you are not risking anything, of course. As for ourselves, I'm managing the finances in our little entity. Patrick is the visionary person here. He sets the goals, and if we agree, we run for it. But of course, financially, we have to be able to afford it, because not every time you earn or not soon enough, So you have to be aware of your assets, and for how long can you survive without making any money, or by putting some money in. So it's always good to have, how to say, a deep pocket, or like spare
pockets.
Spare pockets. Because I'm coming from corporate. I'm used to having a salary, although it's been 8 years that I quit. I like to be secure, but many entrepreneurs in our country, and Patrick is also like that, they just go for it. They go for the stars, they shoot the stars. That's also good, but I also like to be sure that we can pay our rent. And like this time of the pandemic, we had to stop operations. Everybody had to stop, but there were some people who made more money than before, especially in e-businesses. But we have a venue. We paid our rent, but we were not legally allowed and advised to invite anybody there. So that's a big risk. It's not even a risk. You are in fire, actually. Luckily, we could survive that. But the most important thing is here, to just continue working. Patrick, every day from first day of the lockdown, he woke up at 8 and he started working at 10 and created this new project, now Sprint Accelerator, online accelerator that has startups from all around the world, actually. Whereas me, being a Turkish person, I fell into a big depression. The first week I was in bed, completely depressed about what's going to happen to us, to our friends and people in Turkey and all around the world. And now we are actually seeing the results of that. But me being depressed and staying in bed did not help anything, but at the same time, and after 1 week, I started to recover and get used to the fact, but I accepted that we have to pay our rent. And our money is but we are going to survive. Because our biggest asset is ourselves, that we are capable of working professionally, locally and internationally, and we will find a way. So actually, this is also part of your risk management. I learned it in 2 years after my corporate life, and Patrick had a lot of trouble with me because I can panic more easily. I can fall in the pits and he picks me up and sometimes shooks me. And because what is the worst case scenario, as you also said? What is the worst case scenario? I mean, okay, I'm ready to go to the farmer's market and sell lemons. I'm ready. I mean, I take pride in working hard and earning our bread. So actually, for me, this is how I manage our risks. You think about the worst case scenario and you prepare yourself for it. Otherwise you are putting your effort, your life, your assets, everything in the hands of the others. We cannot do that.
Absolutely. Nishan, and I think that the point that you made in the end is really the most important question to ask yourself. What's the worst that could happen? And then once you have understood the worst, which is not about risk management, it's rather, again, the point that Patrick was making or you were making is trusting yourself, that this is the worst that could happen and I can survive that, right? So that's the key. Lots of questions, so we're going to go into a rapid mode right now, and what I would like Shahab to basically go one question after another. Worthy Patrick, Bostales and Nishan, would you like to share us any book, website, course that will polish our skills in entrepreneurship career?
Go to www.steveblank.com. Steve Blank is a little bit the guru of the startup ecosystem. I'm sure that also on Hassan's in your platform there's also a lot of information available. If you want to have like a second opinion, go to www.steveblank.com. Very transparent, a lot of information, more than you can even digest, but it will definitely inspire you.
Thank you. Shahab, keep going fast. Okay. How will we manage finance at a start if we don't have any money? It is really good, Sajjad, that you don't have any money. Actually, entrepreneurs जो start करते हैं बगैर पैसों के वो lose नहीं करते. They don't lose much. So if you don't have money, the best thing that you can do is find the customer and convince the customer. Instead of spending your time and wasting your time in finding the investor, you don't have money anyways, you're better off taking your idea and taking it to the potential customer. That's the way how you get your start a bootstrap, and that's the way not losing a lot of money, either your money or somebody else's money.
I think that's advice to young people. We have to say, when you start a company, don't think about getting investor money. Think about selling your product or your service. I'm kind of sick and tired now that young people come to me and they think, I have an idea, can you find me an investor, and then I will make it. That's not how it works. The way it works is you make something that you can sell to your customer. That is the basis of entrepreneurship. So what I see today in the last, especially 5-6 years now, is that governments are pushing entrepreneurship, which is very good. I like that very much. But they also think like, or the government gives me money, or the investor gives me money, and then I will do something. No, it's the other way around. You do something, you make money, and maybe if you have to grow then after that, then you can go to invest it. So we are always doing this the reverse way the last 5-6 years. So we have to kind of push that back now, that idea.
All right. So there was a question previously, Shahab, that we did not answer. What was that? You're moving so fast. So we need to make sure that we answer all the questions. Mr. Patrick, although our students have done all the course from Kamyab Jawan, Startup Pakistan, but still they cannot develop an entrepreneurial mindset. What is the best formula? I can answer this question, Rock Times. The best formula is to have an idea and fall in love with that idea. You know, there is nothing else, more captivating than a good idea that captivates your mind. So, look for an idea that takes away all your, what you call attention, and grab your attention, to that idea. And that's it. Then you will get into that zone. There is no, nobody can teach you how to kindle that fire. That fire, you have to kindle yourself. Next question, Shahab. Also in academia, corporate entrepreneurship promotes, but in reality, there is still traditional corporate culture exists rather than entrepreneurship. How to deal? So, मैं इसका जवाब आपको उर्दू में दूंगा कि बेसिकली एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज़ ए सेट ऑफ प्रोसेसेस, उसके अंदर काम करने के तरीक़े हैं, and the more efficient that organization be, the more mature those processes will be. इसका मतलब ये है कि जो काम वहाँ पे हो रहा है वो उसी तरह ही होना चाहिए बार बार, जब भी वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अच्छी तरह के कोई काम कर सकती है. So there is a tension between a large organization जिसमें स्टेटस को उन प्रोसेसेस के लिए मैनेज करना इम्पॉर्टेंट होता है, और जब आप एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप की बात कर रहे हैं, इनोवेशन की बात कर रहे हैं, विच इज़ डिसरप्टिव इन नेचर, उसका काम है चीज़ों को चेंज करना. तो वो चेंज करना जो है वो कॉर्पोरेट इन्वायरमेंट के अंदर मुश्किल होता है, क्योंकि कॉर्पोरेट इन्वायरमेंट डिमांड्स दैट मैच्योरिटी ऑफ द प्रोसेस, कि वो प्रोसेस जो हैं वो डिस्टर्ब ना हो. तो यस, इट इज़ डिफ़िकल्ट. एक्चुअली कॉर्पोरेट एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इज़ मोर डिफ़िकल्ट देन जस्ट गोइंग ऑन. तो या बट देन इट्स रिवॉर्डिंग टू. इसका बहुत बेनिफिट भी है अगर आप कॉर्पोरेट के अंदर, इफ़ यू कैन एक्चुअली ब्रिंग चेंज. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, शहाब. What I understood that successful entrepreneur, you should have good marketing skills. How to improve marketing skills? वकास, इसका जवाब बहुत सिंपल है. It's very simple. Sell. Go in front of the customer and just take your pitch. Every time you hear a no, ask yourself why there was a no, and then improve it, and then try again and again and again. And then the time will come when you will be pitching your customers like a pro, and every time you will be successful. So it's practice that most probably is the answer to your question. Patrick?
Yes, I think that, I see a lot of questions like, for example, how long do you have to bootstrap, or When do you ask money? I can only repeat this again and again and again, and I think Hassan and Azam will agree to this. Entrepreneurship, by definition, means when you start a company, it has a legal responsibility. So it means that in every country, in every government says, if you start a company, you have to make profit. Because if you don't have profit, you're bankrupt. So everybody who wants to be an entrepreneur has to understand this very simple rule. I make a company to make money. So that's where you start. And then I come back to what Hassan was saying, is that the next thing you have to do is you have to make a service or a product like hardware that people need. So you have to understand, that's why design thinking is so important. In design thinking, you start from empathy. You start from understanding what is the need of a group of people. While in lean startup, for example, there you say, let me make very quickly a prototype and test it and then see if I can find an audience, yes or no. So these are the two kind of streams we see in kind of, let us say, entrepreneurial education. We always prefer to go to problem, understand if there is a problem. Don't solve your problem. Solve a problem that is common for many people. Otherwise, you cannot sell. So you have to think like, how can I make money? That's the first thing. Secondly, what is the need? What is the problem? Start to understand this and ask about these things, validate them, and then you start making your prototype and then you start selling. That's the only thing you do. When you need money, what type of skills you need extra, you will see that on the road. But don't think that if you are today doing MBA, tomorrow you are an entrepreneur. It has nothing to do with it. An entrepreneur is somebody who understands where is the need, where is the problem, are there enough people who have that problem, is there competition that I can be better than competition, then you have a chance to go into the market. All the rest is very nice to talk about with a glass of tea, but that is not entrepreneurship. So for me, it has to be clear for students, and Hassan already mentioned this a little bit. An entrepreneurship starts from inside. It's very weird. I mean, it's not like I go to university and I'm an entrepreneur. No, it doesn't work like that. So it is your...
On the contrary.
On the contrary, it's your internal drive. That's where it starts. It's eagerness for becoming something. That is the emotional part of it. The secondly is the rational part, where you have to understand what is the need, what is the problem, and can I find a solution that these people will buy from me that is better than the competition. That's what we call value proposition in the business model canvas. So that's why we always focus very much on value proposition. What do you bring to the customer that is better than competition, or that is innovative and is unique? That's the mindset. That's it. All the rest you will learn during time, as you said. Just do it and you will see where you come out.
Thank you, Patrick. My idea is about drone delivery service. It is similar with Uber. Kareem, I need your comments on my idea. Sajid, it's a very good idea. You need to ask yourself whether it is a good idea for you. So yeah, drones, can be used for delivery services. That's a common understanding. But what do you have that, that is different from all the big companies that are trying to build the drone systems, and how can you provide that delivery service? If you don't have answer to this question, it's a very big project that you're trying to embark on, and the chances are that you don't have the resources to actually see through it. So that's my take on it. Patrick, more than welcome if you have some ideas on that. Okay. Patrick agrees. Actually, when Nishan saw the question, she was already nodding her head in no. So, anyways, how to overcome...
I also asked how to create a prototype. Is this a question? Please, Sajid. It's some mercy.
Yes, I know. All right. How to overcome the situation of mistrust on us from our families when we want to stand on our own feet? I think that's a very important question, especially in Pakistan, from female entrepreneurs, and Umema From her name, I can understand that she's a female entrepreneur or wannabe entrepreneur. That is absolutely a challenge. Inshallah, in our program, we will be inviting your parents with when you start the incubation phase out of the ideation phase. So during the ideation phase, you will polish your idea and everything, and you will get feedback. But then when you are ready to take the next step, we plan to actually have a meeting with you and your parents. Before that, take the opportunity to share your idea and start building a social circle around your idea, to be able to show to your parents that you're doing something worthy and they should be proud of it. And the only way that you can do it by showing them the validation from other people about your idea. So come on our show, that we are doing with the student entrepreneurs. Share your idea, make a video, put it on on our YouTube channel, put it on your own Facebook. Invite your friends to look at your idea, give you feedback. Invite your family members, your cousins, your uncles, your aunts, everybody, and start building that support, that basically your parents see and see, yes, what you're doing is something very interesting. You have to do that in order to gain that confidence and trust. It's not a mistrust, it's rather a fear of throwing you into the world without preparation. वो डर नहीं रहे हैं, उनका ट्रस्ट मिसट्रस्ट नहीं है, वो सिर्फ ये डर रहे हैं कि इस दुनिया के अंदर आप शायद तैयार नहीं हैं जाने के लिए, या उनको यकीन नहीं है कि आपका आइडिया जो है वो बहुत अच्छा है. तो बाय डूइंग ऑल दीज थिंग्स, इंशाल्लाह यू विल बी एबल टू बिल्ड दैट कॉन्फिडेंस rather than mistrust, the confidence that what you're doing is good. Okay, so that's how I would suggest you go for it. Okay, next question.
For female entrepreneurs, also in Turkey, actually for any youngster who wants to start their own business right after school, it's a challenge. So here, I think your program is very important, very valuable, and if you can show especially for women, role models, successful women entrepreneurs I'm sure that in Pakistan, there are women who have started their company and who are making good money and who are also appreciated by the community. So if you can make them the spokespeople of the program, it can be encouraging for the families to be inspired. Also for female entrepreneurs in Turkey, the big challenge is the family, but also their own immediate family, because some of them are married, they have children, they have responsibilities. And in our culture, men are not, I'm talking in general, of course, there are always exceptions, but men are not taught to be proud of their wives. Man has to be the face of the family, although internally in many families, women are managing the family. To the outside world, we show that the man is the chief of the family, let's say. So they don't want to lose this position, but we don't have to fight about that. Whoever puts the money on the table is the boss, right? It's as simple as this. So for female entrepreneurs, because we are dealing with female entrepreneurs through our association, and that's a very common problem. They have to take care of their children, and they have to make sure that dinner is ready every day. But once they put the first $100 on the table, then things change. They can buy dinner outside, right? I mean, I'm an exception to that because my husband is not Turkish, so I can talk very easily here. And there's a maybe there's when start to make money, then the balance in the family changes, and then men start to be more supportive, because they are not taught to be supportive business wise to their wife. A traditional family doesn't run like that, so we cannot blame them. We have to teach and experience together. So try to make money, even though a little bit of money, and prove it. You don't have to start a holding company immediately, but just start doing something. And it's also a good test for yourself, because if you are not going to make money, it will be a hobby. Then of course your families will not be encouraging, because who is going to pay the bills, So I want yeah, okay.
That's true. And I would like Azra, actually, because this is a very important topic, close to her heart also. In terms of, we talked about two situations. One is the situation of a young female entrepreneur who is not married and trying to start a business, and her parents are thinking that she's not ready. This is maybe too tough of a thing for her to go for. And not having that confidence is seen often from the entrepreneur, the female side, as a mistrust, as the question came. So, that's one situation. And the other situation in which a female entrepreneur who is married with kids and family, where she's supposed to be culturally making sure that the dinner is on the table, is how can she change that equation, where she is not seen as a participant on the finance side, right? So Azra, what is your experience, and what would you suggest to both of these situations in Pakistan especially? And if you can tell this in Urdu so everybody can understand also, please go ahead.
Yeah. थैंक यू हसन। बड़ा चैलेंजिंग होता है। सबसे बड़ा सपोर्ट आपको जो एक जिस तरह एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप इकोसिस्टम होता है, हमारी अपनी फैमिली का भी हम जिसको एक इकोसिस्टम कह सकते हैं वो होता है। और आपकी फैमिली में जब तक आपके पास सपोर्ट ना हो, बिकॉज एक पेट्रियार्कल स्ट्रक्चर से आप आते हैं ना, जहाँ में घर पे एक फादर होते हैं, ब्रदर्स होते हैं, उनका जॉइंट फैमिली में आप रहते हैं तो चाचाज होते हैं, मामूस होते हैं, जो भी आपकी एक्सटेंडेड फैमिली होती है, उनका एक नेटवर्क होता है जिसके आप शेल्टर में आप ग्रो करते हैं। ये टिपिकली मैं उन फीमेल्स की बात कर रही हूँ हु आर नॉट मैरिड एंड हु आर स्टिल लिविंग विद देयर पेरेंट्स। तो सबसे बड़ा सपोर्ट सिस्टम जो आपको चाहिए होता है वो आप लॉबिंग करते हैं उन रिलेटिव्स, उन रिश्तेदारों के साथ जिनका आपके साथ सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर है। और सबसे बड़ा सॉफ्ट कॉर्नर जो आपका बिलीव में जो प्रोड्यूस होता है फॉर गर्ल्स इज देयर फादर्स या इज देयर नानास एंड दादा। टेक माय वर्ड फॉर इट, ये मैं अपने एक्सपीरियंस से बता रही हूँ। तो अगर आपके पास एक वो सपोर्ट सिस्टम है जिस सपोर्ट सिस्टम में आप लॉबी कर सकते हैं और उस सपोर्ट सिस्टम में आप ये भी प्रूव कर सकते हैं, स्पेशली अगर आप सिटीज के रेसिडेंट्स हैं ना, अगर आप किसी गांव या देहात के या सबर्ब्स में रह रहे हैं, तो आई एम सॉरी मैं बहुत ज्यादा उसके बारे में नहीं कमेंट कर सकूंगी, मेरा उनसे एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है। मेरा जितना एक्सपीरियंस है वो सिटी की रेसिडेंट्स के साथ ज्यादा है। बट सिटी में भी आई डू अंडरस्टैंड ये कल्चरल कंस्ट्रेंट्स होते हैं खवातीन के लिए, स्पेशली इफ यू आर नॉट मैरिड। सो माय एक्सपीरियंस या माय रिस्पॉन्सेस कि प्लीज आप अपने उन फैमिली मेंबर्स के साथ लॉबी करें जिन फैमिली मेंबर्स की सपोर्ट के साथ आपके जो बैलेंस है लाइफ का वो किसी तरह से हार्म नहीं होता है या किसी तरह से चलता रहता है। एंड द मोमेंट आप उस, मैंने इससे पहले भी एक बात की थी ट्रस्ट की, अगर आप खुद अपने प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में पैशनेट हैं, सिंसियर हैं, और अगर आप ये फील करते हैं आप इसको डिलीवर कर सकते हैं, आपका अपना बिलीफ है अपने अंदर और अपने प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर, आपको कोई चुप नहीं करा सकता, कोई बैठा नहीं सकता। दैट इज नंबर वन। नंबर टू, फॉर वुमेन हु आर मैरिड हु हैव चिल्ड्रन, यस प्राइम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज जो हैं वो कुछ और हो जाती हैं, चेंज हो जाती हैं रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज। व्हेन वी आर एट अवर पेरेंट्स हाउस हम बहुत केयर फ्री होते हैं, काम किया नहीं किया, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज का एलिमेंट थोड़ा सा कंपेरेटिवली हमारा कम होता है, भाई बहनों पे डंप कर दिया, कजन पे कर दिया, मॉम टेक केयर कर लेगी, whatever, right? But in a situation where you are actually where you are married and you may be living with your in-laws, or you may be living on your own but you have children, और आपसे एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है कि आपकी प्राइमरी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज आर टू मेक श्योर कि टेबल पे 3 टाइम्स की मील्स जो हैं प्रॉपर्ली पकी हुई टाइम पे होनी चाहिए, तो उसके अंदर वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। अगेन मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ये है, मैंने अपना पूरा एमएस और पीएचडी का कोर्स वर्क जो अपनी शादी के बाद किया, आफ्टर आई हैड अ चाइल्ड हु वाज लाइक हु वुड कम विद मी टू माय यूनिवर्सिटी, 6 इयर्स की थी, मेरे साथ आया करती थी वो कॉलेज मेरे। तो एक वो वर्क लाइफ बैलेंस आपका लाजमी होना चाहिए, जिसके अंदर आप ये प्रूव कर सकें कि आप अपने घर के सिस्टम को या उस बोट को रॉक किए बगैर अपने इकोनॉमिक कंट्रीब्यूशन कर सकें। देखें जितना कंपेटिटिव माहौल हो गया है, जितने ज्यादा हमारे पास इस वक्त जो है, आपको इन्फ्लेशन के इंडेक्सेस पता है, आपको पता है कि जी स्कूल फीस कितनी है, या आपका जो राशन आया करता था अब उसका क्या आपका एक्सपेंस हो गया है। 10,000 रुपए की चीज जो अब है 13,500 रुपए की है। मैं आपको ये फ्लैटली बता रही हूँ कल के बजट फिगर्स देख के। तो अगर आप इकोनॉमिकली कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं तो किसी को बुरा नहीं लगता है, ओके। और खवातीन का जो कि वर्क फ्रॉम होम या होम बेस्ड एंटरप्रेन्योर्स है, उनका तो सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज ये होता है कि वो एक विंडो आइडेंटिफाई कर लेते हैं टाइम का। जैसे मेरे लिए ये विंडो बहुत अच्छा वर्क करता है, 2:30 से लेके 4:30-5 बजे तक आई एम फ्री टू डू अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स जो मैं खुद करना चाहती हूँ। मैं इसको मी टाइम बोलती हूँ। तो इस टाइम के अंदर आप अपनी एक विंडो बना लें, अपना स्केड्यूल इस तरह का कर लें जिसमें आपके खाना पकाना या खाना सुपरवाइज करना, बच्चों को ट्यूशंस या बच्चों के असाइनमेंट्स वगैरह करना, फ्री टाइम में उनके साथ कोई एक्टिविटी करना, कोई हॉबी करना, और उसके साथ साथ दिन में 4 से 5 घंटे अगर आप निकाल सकते हैं इनिशियली, या इवन 2 से 3 घंटे अपने स्केड्यूल्स को बिल्टन करने के लिए, जिसमें आपके फैमिली के रूटीन्स में कोई हार्म नहीं हो रहा है, plus you are able to bring some dollars onto the table. I think that can work really well. Hassan.
थैंक यू अजरा। ये टॉपिक इतना इम्पॉर्टेंट था that I wanted to give it some time for everybody to understand. Next question is from Naeem. Sir, please state the minimum requirements for customers and experience. Kindly explain it. ये मेरी समझ में क्वेश्चन आपका आया नहीं, जो आप ये क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं, लिहाजा प्लीज़ इसको ज़रा दोबारा से स्टेट कीजिए सही तरीके से। नूरुल ऐन, अस्सलाम वालेकुम। माय आइडिया इज़ टू क्रिएट compost from garbage and green our environment. How can I produce these in my small circumstances? Nurul Ain, you can do a couple of things. You can actually start a small compost system, which is like something that you can offer at a small price, and people can keep it in their homes, and then they put their food items, their perishables in that compost system, और वो जो है उसकी खाद बन जाएगी जिसको वो यूज़ कर सकते हैं, फिर then they can use it in their plants and everything. So that's a very simple thing that you can start. It wouldn't cost you a lot of money. You just look at some of the designs and everything, come up with your own design, get it 3D printed initially. It won't cost you so much to make a smaller 3D printed version of it, and then once you have figured out the design, there is enough market for people who would like to do composting. तो बड़ी उसमें जाने के बजाय अगर आप इस तरह छोटा सा स्टेप लेंगे तो आपको, मुझे नहीं पता आप खातून हैं या जेंटलमैन हैं, जो भी हैं, बहरहाल that's how it is. Next question, Shahab, keep going quickly please. What to do if one don't have any idea initially? Tara, this is a very important question. An entrepreneur doesn't need to have a creative idea. We have another guest in the program that I can see. Okay, so you don't need to have an idea, an innovative idea. An entrepreneur is creating value, and the value could be anything that you can sell anything that you can sell better, anything which is needed by people. So you can start a hair cutting salon if you feel that there is a need for people to cut their hair. तो आपको ये ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आपको बहुत हाई फाई किस्म का आइडिया लेकर आएँ. आप बिल्कुल बेसिक बिजनेस से स्टार्ट कर सकती हैं. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ ग्राउंड फ्लोर अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ जिसमें आप बिल्कुल बिगिनिंग के अंदर एक स्मॉल बिजनेस, माइक्रो एंटरप्राइज या स्मॉल एंटरप्राइज से आप स्टार्ट कर सकती हैं, जिसमें कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है आपको बहुत बड़ी रकम की शुरू के अंदर, जो कि आपको फ़ौरन रेवेन्यू स्टार्ट करके दे सकता है. सो यू नो, एंड वी जस्ट स्टार्टेड अ प्रोग्राम लास्ट वीक जो हमने स्टार्टअप पाकिस्तान के तमाम बच्चों को ऑफ़र किया है. इट्स अ सेपरेट प्रोग्राम, इट इज़ नॉट अ स्टार्टअप पाकिस्तान प्रोग्राम, बट IdeaGist स्टार्टेड दिस प्रोग्राम कॉल माइक्रो एंटरप्राइज इंक्यूबेटर, जिसका मतलब है कि छोटे बिजनेसेस जिनके पास कोई आइडिया नहीं है बट दे वांट टू स्टार्ट अ बिजनेस, they can just quickly pick one of the basic businesses and they can just start, and we will give them all the help and everything to basically start that basic business. तो if आपके पास कोई आइडिया नहीं है तो आप उस प्रोग्राम के अंदर पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, can our respected guest explain that what is success and failure ratio of startups in Turkey? That would be interesting question, Patrick and Nishan. What is the failure rate?
Honestly, we don't know that. I mean, we have the classic thing that we say in the startup world: 9 on 10 is a failure, 1 becomes successful. To be honest with you, I have no idea. I mean, these are the things that are said because we don't. The thing is always like, what is an entrepreneur and what is a startup? So a startup has the aim to become global, to grow very fast, while in every village there are entrepreneurs, from the berber, the hairdresser, to the kasab, the butcher. So all these people are also entrepreneurs. So for me, I understand where the question is coming from, because we always like to
startups.
Yeah, but then you come to the thing like, what is the startup? So entrepreneurship and startup is already a little bit of a flu definition that sometimes go into each other. If we look at programs and if you look at portfolios of investors, 2 weeks ago, I interviewed a very big. They have more than 100 investors in their angel network. They have 15 investments in startups. Of these 15 startups, there are 2 who are exceptionally good. So that gives you a bit of an idea. 2 are exceptionally good. 5 or 6 are growing, but not like what you would like to see as a startup, and all the rest will probably not succeed. So that gives you a little bit of a figure. So 1 or 2 on 15, 1 or 2 really exceptional, 5, 6 growing, but nothing special. All the rest goes.
Yes, but these 15 are already invested.
They're
right?
already invested. So before
that's already a success.
Yeah.
For this question, we have to define 2 things. What is a startup, and how do you define success? Is the investment, the first round investment, your success factor? Okay, then there are 15 startups out of probably 500, 400.
Yeah.
So we cannot say that the success ratio, however you define it, it's more than 90% anyway.
I'll give you another figure that is very interesting for me.
10%.
Yeah, 10%. So another figure that is very interesting to give you an idea. So the biggest university in Istanbul has around 3,000 to 4,000 applications of young students who wants to become an entrepreneur as a startup idea. So 3,000 to 4,000 apply, 400 go into a kind of incubation program, and out of that comes sometimes 1 or 2. So 4,000, 400, 2, as an idea about ratios. But as I said, and also as Nashin said, these things are very hard to define, because today everybody can very easily start a company. You go, if you are doing an e-commerce website, you just have free software, you put some products in there, and you say, I'm a startup. That's as easy as it goes today. So technology has democratized a lot. So this means that the accessibility to become a startup has never been so easy as it is today, thanks to the technology, thanks to, of course. So that makes it all a little bit hard to explain. But so the easier it is to start, the more failure. That's what we see today. So the easier to start, the more failure. Because you don't start from a need or a problem, you start from a desire, your desire. I want to be an entrepreneur. Not coming from the need or the problem, but coming from yourself, like, this is my way of living that I want to do. So in that sense, actually, the number of failures increase, because the number of people who start or try to start a startup today is way bigger than it was ever before. If I look before internet, I mean, we didn't even talk about startups. We talked about entrepreneurship. We never talked about startups. That came with internet now. So that's some ratios to give you an idea. And that's everywhere the same, by the way.
Thank you. So in terms of our understanding, when we define these startups in a startup Pakistan, I'm just talking about that concept, we divide them into two categories. One is traditional enterprise and the other one is innovation driven enterprise. So when it comes to traditional enterprise that you said, like, a hair cutting salon or whatever, these are traditional enterprises. So they are normally not scalable. They are more focused on the local needs, wherever they are. And then the success rate or success is a very vague term in startups. So one of the most, what you call the gold standard, excuse me, is called 5-year survival. Who is still standing 5 years down the road? And that is, is used in the US a lot as a 5-year survival to see whether a company is succeeding or not. But raising money is not a reason for success. And actually, I've seen many companies raise money and then went down under. Generating the revenue is no success, because I've seen companies, despite generating revenue, they burned a lot of money. So, so success is very difficult to define, and especially in the absence of failure, because our goal is to remove the failure. And so because we are removing the failure, then the success becomes even vaguer. Anyways, let's move on. This is philosophy. Next question. Okay, so this question cannot be answered by Patrick and Nishan. The financing option for IdeaGist students are the options that are available in Pakistan. So there are multiple, ways that you can go into financing your startup. Kamyab Jawan program has got youth entrepreneurship scheme, which has got a loan program called youth entrepreneurship scheme, or Yes Loan. In addition to that, we have been talking to other sources through traditional financing and non-traditional financing, and eventually to the investors when your startups are ready for investors. So all those options are open for you guys. What's next? Okay, what if one does not? We have answered this question. If you don't have an idea, you don't need to have an idea, an awesome idea. You need to understand what is the need. If you need, and then you fulfill that need in some way, that's all what what you're looking for. Is there is no what you call a restaurant in your area, or there is no Japanese restaurant in your city. It's a need. You can go find out if people are looking for Japanese sushi once in a while, and if people are, then you can start that restaurant. So yeah, you don't need to have a great idea. This is stick to simple things. Worthy Patrick, how much the mentorship play in the role of entrepreneurship? That's a very good question, Patrick. From your experience, how do you see a mentor?
So definitely mentorship is important, and when we give our mentorship lessons to people who want to become mentor, but we also kind of, I don't like the word teach, but we try to make also the mentee to understand what means mentorship, what you should take out of it, how should you involve and enroll with your mentor. So even Steve Jobs from Apple had a very good mentor. It was Larry Ellison from Oracle. They saw each other very regularly to exchange ideas. So mentorship has kind of different phases in many ways. So mentorship can be from product or marketing knowledge. So you have some skills you don't have in your team, then that mentor can really help you on the road in that skill set. So that is one type of mentorship. Another type of mentorship is people who encourage you in what you're doing or what and challenging you. So that's what I call kind of temporary mentorship. So there is a temporary something missing, and mentor can then really bring this thing forward and help you to the next level. So that's very important. If a mentor becomes indispensable in your company, then we always say this mentor should be a board member or should be part of your company. Mentorship for me as such is a temporary thing. That means that you can use mentorship all your career. That's no problem. But the mentors will change because you as a startup, as a company, have different needs at different levels. So you need different people to help you at the level that you are at that moment. So some people are very good in your early stage, like idea stage. They can challenge you, they can give you new ideas. Also very important is they can introduce you in their network to people who can really help you when it comes to sales, when it comes to the introduction of a prototype. Later on, it can be very useful in terms of network in sales. This is very important. A network for your sales strategy, also for your outlook, it's essential. So there a mentor can really put you forward very, very quickly. But each mentor has a beginning and an end, because you as a startup evolve from one stage to another stage. So for me, mentorship is not like, otherwise it becomes coaching. If you need somebody to kind of put you forward emotionally, trust yourself and make decisions faster than you are doing now, then you go to coaching. That's another thing. But mentorship itself is a temporary situation where you need a skill set that you don't have, and that this person then can help you on the road to make sure that you maybe hire somebody or you learn it or whatever. So mentorship is a very interesting topic. I never had a mentor in my life. I have to be honest with you, because it was not really common to have a mentor. It was more like I talked with friends who were also business people, and these people then told me like, think about this or think about that. So mentorship for me personally, it came from university and from high schools, where I saw that there is mentorship. There's also what Neshin is doing with her university. She is mentoring students. So mentorship in the business part, like we know it today, in the mentorship for startups, is a kind of a new thing. And so, of course, when things are new, already Neshin mentioned this, so you have mentors who are there for the ego. They like to talk about themselves, like, wow, look how amazing I am. Until you have people who are really there with the right heart and the right mindset, who have the thing to help you. So we are evolving from, I see this very good in Turkey. We are evolving from the I know it all approach as a mentor, which is not so good for a mentee, to the people who really want to help startups today. So there's an evolution, because we have to learn these things. These are new. I mean, I didn't know mentorship until 10 years ago.
Really good, Patrick. So basically, it's about having the right mentor who basically has the mindset of I'm here to help, rather than I'm here to teach you, everything that I know, and have the concept of I already know everything about your business. Azra, you are, a big, proponent on mentorship. We are almost towards the end of our time. Would you like to just share in 1 minute the role of a mentor, especially role of a mentor in a women entrepreneurship life, which is tougher than the men, entrepreneurs? And so how do you see that? What is your experience? and then we'll do a closing after that. Go ahead, please.
Acha, so I will specifically speak about mentoring. I think Patrick has done a great job at defining or identifying versus coaches versus friends and the support system in general. जहाँ तक खवातीन की बात है, मेंटोर्स में सबसे बड़ा एडवांटेज जो खवातीन के लिए है वो है रोल मॉडलिंग. इससे पहले जो हम बात कर रहे थे, बिल्डिंग ट्रस्ट, बिल्डिंग अ सपोर्ट सिस्टम अराउंड योर हाउस होल्ड, योर फैमिली, योर इनर सर्कल्स, जिनके साथ आप ये कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल जो आपका बूस्ट होता है या जिनकी वजह से आपका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल बढ़ सकता है, इस तरह की अगर आपके पास खवातीन ग्रुप्स को या खवातीन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को या खवातीन स्टार्टअप्स को अगर खवातीन मेंटोर्स ही मिल जाते हैं तो उनके लिए एक कंफर्ट जोन भी होता है. आई नो अ लॉट ऑफ वुमेन मे नॉट बी कंफर्टेबल विद मेल मेंटोर्स. तो अभी तो खैर ऑनलाइन और वर्चुअल है मीटिंग्स वगैरह, but at times you're required to meet them at offices, you're required to meet them at maybe public places, libraries, whatever. तो बहुत सारी खवातीन इस चीज से मुझे पता है कंफर्टेबल नहीं होती है. तो एक तो बहुत बड़ा कंफर्ट जोन होता है हैविंग अ फीमेल मेंटोर, नंबर वन. नंबर टू, ट्रस्ट का एलिमेंट, क्योंकि a trust level for a woman to be trusting another woman, especially if they are in similar situations, similar boats, meaning ये भी entrepreneur हैं, वो भी entrepreneur हैं, या वो किसी corporate world से हैं, तो वो भी एक उनके लिए बहुत एक ट्रस्ट का एलिमेंट भी बहुत इजी हो जाता है डेवलप करना, इन द सेंस कि वो एक एस्पिरेशन या एक रोल मॉडलिंग भी नजर आ रही होती है कि यस, सो इफ शी कैन डू इट सो कैन आई, और अगर ये कर सकती हैं इस तरह की चीजें तो मैं भी कर सकती हूँ, और उससे रिलेट बहुत आसानी से हो सकता है. Secondly, women mentors understand the challenges of women mentees, which may not, I'm not saying men don't, but at times बड़े यूनिक सिचुएशंस होते हैं विद वुमेन mentees, if they're married, घर है, बच्चे हैं, whatever. So जो women mentors हैं, they will understand that situation more. वो challenges, वो complexities of living in a family where there has got to be a complete support and making sure that you have your prime responsibilities taken care of. तो इसके अंदर जो है आपको एक mentor का सहारा बहुत जरूरी होता है. But there's one thing I need to be cautioning, a word of caution है ये mentors के लिए, mentees के लिए भी. आप डिसीजन मेकर, एक मेंटोर डिसीजन मेकर नहीं हो सकता है, और अगर एक मेंटोर आपके बिजनेस के लिए डिसीजंस करता जा रहा है तो वो फिर आपका बिजनेस नहीं है, आपका ब्रेड एंड बटर नहीं है. प्लीज रिमेंबर, आपका बिजनेस इज योर बेबी. उसको आपने उसी तरह ग्रो करना है जिस तरह आप अपनी फेवरेट चीज को, फेवरेट बेबी को ग्रो करके देखते हैं. तो मेंटोर से अगर आपकी ये एक्सपेक्टेशन है, और मेंटोर भी थोड़ा सा, आई नो दे गेट कैरिड अवे, अब बहुत इमोशनली इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं प्रोजेक्ट के साथ एंड एट टाइम्स अपने मेंटीज के साथ, तो यू गॉट टू बी केयरफुल कि आप अपना वो वाला डिस्टेंस अपने मेंटी के साथ रखें जिसके अंदर आप सिर्फ एक गाइड का रोल प्ले करें, एक उस पर्सन का रोल प्ले करें जो कि गैप्स फिलअप करने में या उनको उनकी थॉट प्रोसेस को चैनल करने में मदद करे. उनके लिए सोचे मत, उनके लिए डिसीजन मत ले. अगर आपने किसी के लिए सोचा और उसके लिए डिसीजन लिया, आप उस पर्सन को लाइफ टाइम क्रपल कर देते हैं. So here is my take on it, Hassan.
Thank you, Azra. Let me quickly recap a few things, and then thank our guests for coming and joining us from Turkey. Our goal was today to understand common challenges and common learnings between Turkish ecosystem and Pakistani ecosystem. When we talk about an ecosystem, it means a support, a structure, or things that actually offer support to entrepreneurs in starting up their businesses. And the areas that we covered, most importantly, mentorship is a key thing. We talked about what is a good idea, how to go about those ideas. We talked about challenges faced by female entrepreneurs, and we talked about a lot of topics. Of course, it's a big topic, ecosystem. It's not a small topic. We could not cover everything. There were lots of questions that came, and we could not field all of questions. Normally we try to field all the questions, but today we were not able to. But the conversation was so captivating. It was so nice for everybody that we have kept our audience throughout this. I was just watching the numbers. So we'll see later on how many students are going to watch, and in a day we will figure out. But it seems like that you guys enjoyed the conversation. A lot of things, were discussed that were beneficial for the students, and we will continue doing these kind of events in the future, inshallah, to make sure that more learning is coming from other ecosystems into our ecosystem. And Patrick and Nishan, I'm so thankful for you to join us, Azra, for you to be here with us. And I can think of few things from our conversation today, Patrick, that we may want to touch base later on to see how we can provide, something, or where could there be an opportunity to collaborate for both of us. But thanks. Any last words you want to say, Azra? Anything that you want to say in the closing? Please unmute yourself. I'm going to mute myself.
I'm so happy to be doing this over and over again with so many communities, and especially Empower Pakistan IdeaGist. And I really I'm getting really excited when I see all these comments come in. इससे simply ये हमें पता लग रहा होता है कि ये बच्चे बहुत ज़्यादा involved हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा engaged हैं, और हमारी पूरी कोशिश है कि हसन के साथ मिलके with Patrick, Nishan, and other people, other friends that we have together, we're able to make an impact, we're able to make a dent, and we're able to see this community grow. Thank you.
So I will say something first, and then I will leave it to Nishan to conclude. But I am very grateful that I can work with young people, and my full trust is in the next generation. I have always been very clear about that, whether it's in Turkey, I have been as far as Kazakhstan, Iran, Iraq, I mean, so many countries, and I always say the same thing. I can see that the young people have a different mindset than my generation. So I'm almost 60 now. So my generation is about security, is about being sure what is the next day. The young people today who come out of school, they have learned that there is much things are going on, so things can change. So they're much agiler in their headset. So my trust is in the next generation, and I'm very fortunate, thanks to my wife also, that we can every day work with young people, work with young people from heart young, but also young as inexperienced, but the willingness to learn to make themselves better in the next period of their life. So my trust is in the young people. And Hassan and Azra, don't take this wrong, because you're beautiful, nice people, but my trust is not in my generation. My trust is in the generation that is coming now, that is going to be the next people who will be in charge of politics, that will be in charge of economics. So I'm really very positive in what is coming to us now in the next 10 to 15 years.
Yes, thank you for inviting us to this beautiful event. We are very happy to be here, plus reading all the comments of welcoming Pakistani friends, and many greetings back. We hope to stay connected with you. Don't forget, we are running an online accelerator program. You can go to nowsprintaccelerator.com, and our website is stageco, but there is a dash in between, stage-co.com. Find us on social media, just type our names and stay connected. We wish you all the success, but don't forget, an investor is not going to jump on your startup in the first month. You have to prove that you are going to make money. Also to your parents, also to your husband, sometimes to your children. You really have to prove that you are going to make money, and most importantly for yourself. So be ready to work very hard, and good luck everybody. Hassan and Azra, it was a delight talking with you. we hope to stay connected.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Truly appreciate, and thank you, students, for coming in the live session. Those who were not able to join today, they will be watching this video later on. So hopefully everybody will watch it. So thanks again, and tomorrow, please don't forget, for our students, 2:30 to 4:30, we have got our training on how to build your team. So it's an important conversation, it's an important learning. Please join us, और इंशाल्लाह आप लोगों से कल मुलाकात होगी. Thanks everyone again, Patrick and Nishan and Azra, for being here with us today. Assalamu alaikum. Goodbye.